Okay, we're back. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Now it's all cleaned up, and right now I'm gonna really overload this stuff with paint. This is white, as you can see, and I made some pretty pink. Oops, already fell in there. That's a lot of paint that fell in, but it works. This is magenta, and this is what I'm putting in now is Winsor & Newton, because that works also. As long as you test it before you use it, that it doesn't fall through. It just has to, you know, sort of float on the surface. And I see a little bit falling through there, but we'll see. Now that wasn't a gunshot that you just heard, that's firework. We are totally over the top with firework here in Holland. And it's not a pretty sight when it's New Year's Eve or whatever you call it. I think it's about, I don't know how many millions of euros go up in the air. They're totally crazy. I don't do it. I don't like the fireworks. The animals are all scared, so I wouldn't be doing that. Now, as you can see now, you see these, because I filled up the surface with a lot of paint, and now you can see that these little white ones, they just want to stay where they are because there's so much tension on the surface that they don't have a lot of places to go. Okay, let's put some more in. There you go. Then, of course, my favorite color. Gonna put in some turquoise. And as you can see now, they're, the little dots are much rounder because they don't have anywhere to go. There's a lot of paint in the tray. They just want to stay where they are. A little bit down there. Let me see that you can want to put some in there. Now, I'm gonna come back in with the pink. The pink really doesn't want to stay in circles yet, but we're going to load it up with some more paint. And of course, when you put it on the blue ones, they all disappear, but that's how it works. Now some blue, and then I'll put back some of the other color, and then I'll manipulate it like I told you I would. Another of this one. But I want to give you that you can really see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, that's about enough. Now I gotta find my tools. Now what you can do is get something, oh, I can see it all falling through now, but that's okay. What you can do is just take something, a pointy thing, and pull it right through. And as you can see, it's making kind of pretty patterns. And I'm pulling it all towards the middle because that's where I'm going to put my paper in a bit. I will be careful not to go over the bottom of this tray because that makes weird noises. Okay, we got everything centered here. And this is just one, but you can have a comb. And a comb, I make them with toothpicks. I just stick them on a piece of cardboard and then you can comb right through it. Let's get some more in the middle here. That's it. Now, when we put this on, that That's it. Let it soak it up a little. And the best thing that you can have is a rim on the end of your tray where you just pull it over the rim and it'll take off most of the size. There we go. And that's what you get. Now, you can see the pink on the paper, but you can almost not see it in the tray. That's because there was so much room for it to spread. But when you pull it all together and put your paper on, that's when it starts to turn into something pretty. So that's another thing that you can do with this type of art. And as you can see, it's almost dry. There's almost no size on it. And that's because I pulled it over the rim. And you can do that, you know, you don't pull the paint off. The paint just sucks in. But as you can see, pretty cool. Now, what you can do if you're starting out, and of course you can take it to the next level, the professional level, and there you have something that's called carrageenan, and that is seaweed. They process it, and you can put that in water, and you have to mix it in a blender. Then you get like 6,000 million little air bubbles, but that's okay. You just let it sit overnight. It takes 24 hours for all of those little bubbles to burst. And then you make your size, and that's the professional way. And that just goes to show that you can do this, you know, really, really cheap or a little bit more expensive. But this works fine. It's nice for a project that you want to do with the kids, and they can play with it. They can, you know, manipulate the paint in the tray, and they can do all kinds of stuff. You can even, after you've manipulated it, you can put back on paint. You can just take it, you know, to the weirdest levels that you've ever seen, because everything you put on there, it just, you know, keeps on adding to the pattern. So what I would do, I'd start with like 5 to 7 colors, and I'd go from there. And, you know, just test it out. Make sure you have like a little container with this size stuff in it, so you can test your paint. You don't contaminate the whole bunch, you know, if it falls through. As you can see here, this fell through. See that? And that's okay. It really doesn't matter, as long as I, you know, take off the top with a newspaper. Even though the size will go a mushy, ugly color, it won't contaminate your paint. So that's okay. Don't worry about it. Well, I hope that I've inspired some people to do something that they've never done before. Like I said, you can start real cheap. Take one of those serving trays and work with A4 paper, those printed paper. It works great, as you saw me do. The paper isn't prepared. It just is like straight out of the pack. When you go and do it professionally, they suggest that you use alum. Alum is a sort of an aluminium oxide stuff, and you spray it on your paper, and that makes the paint gets sucked into the paper much faster, and it sticks on there a little more than what I just showed you. But that's when you're doing it really for art, or covers, inside covers of books and all that kind of stuff. Then you want to go professional. But if you're just, you know, like me, just making it because you like to see how the paint acts on the surface, and you know, you're just going to use it for wrapping presents or framing it, a little piece of it, that's okay. Like this one that I just did, if you were to cut out like a little piece and frame it, it looks awesome. It really does. You just have to watch the colors, choose colors you really like, and then if you frame this bit, like here, I'd frame that, the middle section, you know, it's going to be awesome. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to really appreciate receiving something like that, because it's unique and it's something that you've made. So that's about it. Now, if you have questions, Leave it in the comments and I'll try and answer all the questions. What I am going to do is put some links under this video where you can buy all the stuff. The Carrageenan and the alum and all that stuff. I can put a link underneath there for the people in America and for people in Europe. I have a couple of addresses and they have the tools. You wouldn't even have to make tools. They have everything. So that's going to be good. Okay, guys? So I'm going to be posting these both, and I might come back this afternoon and do a normal pour because I haven't poured for a while. And I have to find my black ink for the sumigashi or whatever they call it. That's a whole different thing altogether. And I'm not sure if I can find my ink. Then I'll have to drive into town and get some. So, okay, guys. Love you all to pieces. Liebe euch alle. See you.